So Gina's got that new Mario shirt on.
Got my new sweatshirt on.
Oh, it's a
Haven't
sweatshirt.
been to the land. Don't have Universal passes, but I'm going to represent Super Mario Brothers.
So I guess it's already time for a rant to start this off because I'd be. I don't know about Anthony so much. Me, I'm going to go off on a rant in a
I
minute.
got no rant because I had no problems.
That's freaking okay. Here we go.
I mean, you can start the whole thing. I'm going to say that I only had to click. I only had to click the button 3 times because I clicked it. I got the error message. I clicked it. I got the error message. I clicked it, and it went through. So
okay.
My apologies to your troubles, Dad, but I had none.
And then they opened it up anyway.
Yeah, I'm mad about that too. Here we go. So,
to be honest, they did it for Harry Potter too. We talked about it before. Yeah. We even said that if they do it like Harry Potter, they're just going to open it up for everybody anyways.
So here's what happened. I had a Universal Pass in 2022, and I actually had it for the calendar year because I went on January 1st. So knowing that, like, okay, I do want to go check out this Nintendo World. And it is Nintendo World, Super Nintendo World. It's not Mario Land, even though that's basically what it is. I was like, well, I will renew it because the price is decent, and if I go 4 or 5 times in the year, I make my money's worth because it's like $130 a day. If it's kind of a heavier day, you get your money's worth. So I bought it, and then I put it to start on January 2nd because I bought it, I think, New Year's Day, and I knew that the reservation thing for it was going to be on the 5th. So I got it, and I put that my second was going to be the first day in the park, and I actually spent January 2nd at Disneyland. I didn't go to Universal. I thought having the ID number on it was going to be enough. And my brother, the other one, the one I don't go to stuff with, he has a Universal Pass too, and he's like, I think you have to activate it. And
yeah,
like,
you did.
I got a number, so I'm just going to try that. That Thursday came along, and they had a bunch of technical issues. And that it never happened. Now, we can already start by saying that Universal is terrible with letting information out to people. They're absolutely terrible with it. Whereas even Comic-Con was tweeting out when they had issues with the system for Comic-Con, oh, we have problems, we're going to delay it. They were consistently updating at least Twitter, which is the most, instant thing. Universal was radio silent. Nothing. It was finally people going through and saying, like, no, it's finally got this. And then the stupid page doesn't reload. So if I refresh the page because it's in cache, I kept seeing the same message. Oh, it's opening at 1:30. The system, will open at 1:30. It will be slow because people. I kept getting that thing. Then finally, in a Universal group online, somebody posted, "Oh, this is the newest one. It says it's delayed on the Friday at noon or whatever. We're going to make an announcement about when stuff will go on sale." And it turned out it was going to be on Monday. So me decided.
Yeah, I had the same problem with the cache loading. Mine kept showing the old message that they were having technical difficulties while I was seeing other sites posting the new message.
Right, and that's the problem that I had.
I think that was an iPhone, probably an iPhone cache.
But I was doing it on a computer too.
Oh, you were doing it on a computer?
I was on both because I was at work, so I was doing it. You didn't hear that.
Hey, it's called multitasking. You're fine.
Yeah. No, the kids are working. I'm not worried about that. All I'm doing is sitting on my computer just refreshing some stuff anyway, and my phone. So I decided that weekend, you know what? Just in case that's right, I better go activate my pass. So I went on this Saturday. Now I went on Saturday. I got there at about 5:30 into the parking lot, a little bit after 5:30, and the guy even told me, "Oh, you just made it," because I didn't even know that like free parking is only until 6:00.
I didn't know that either until somebody told me. I was like, what the hell? What kind of rule is that?
But the price did drop because when I went in, the general parking price was $10 and the preferred parking price was $20. So with your pass, you can upgrade from your free parking, which I have on mine. You just pay the difference between that and whatever the preferred parking is. At this point, it was only $10. So for $10, I parked in Woody Woodpecker, which I actually think I liked better than Frankenstein when we usually go, which is in the morning. But that part's, you're usually not parking there that early in the morning when we go because we usually open that park. But we went and we're there. I think it was different because every time I've gone to Universal, I've always gone in the morning and tried to kind of open it. This was the first time that I've ever gone and actually kind of closed the park. I was only there for like 4 hours and it was unintentional. I really was like, oh, we're gonna go because I want to activate these passes. The other 2 passes that are on kind of in my wallet on the app were already active. They're active until like March or April, so that really was never going to be a problem. But it was kind of neat to see it from that end because I did start to see ride times like come down because they were getting close to closing. And when I was walking in, there was a lot of people walking out who had been there all day. So all we did was we ate because I hadn't eaten a dinner yet. We took the studio tram tour and then got on the Harry Potter ride, which at that point was like maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Watched the Magic at Hogwarts show and then went shopping, checked out all the cool Nintendo stuff they have, which there's a ton of it. We can talk about that, sometime later, which I'm sure we'll see more of it this week. So I got it active, and then I went in. Here we go. Here comes the rant. To make my reservation for the pass holder thing, and I'm on there at 10 a.m. or whatever it was. Refresh, nothing. It's a cache issue again. So I went on my phone and I found a Facebook group that I'm in for Universal stuff, and I clicked the link that somebody put in, and that's what opened it to say, okay, RSVP now. So I had trouble with that from the beginning. So
and I don't know if you realized that it opened actually like 4 minutes early.
Yeah, somebody had said that it opened early, and that's a crap too.
Because I was refreshing it as soon as I got up. I was refreshing it, and it was like a 10:50 or 10 or whatever time it was, because it was going to be at 11, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so at 10:56 I refreshed it, and RSVP now already had appeared.
That's freaking lame because I never saw that part. I had to click that other link to even get in again. So by the time I did, I got in. Now, when I got in, and you and I had this conversation, I wanted February dates. And I wanted February dates because I wanted to make sure that everybody that was supposed to go can go because one of them can't. So I clicked the calendar, February, it's all slashed through already. So I was like, okay, go back. There's January dates. All right, well, I don't really want to miss work to do this. So I was like, well, it's going to be the Sunday. So I picked the first day, which is the 29th. And I picked, I think, 4 o'clock because I thought, okay, I need to think this through. That number one, it means I don't need to get there butt crack of dawn. I don't need to get up and make the drive into Hollywood on Sunday morning, my entire family, make sure they're up, I'll go. Have to meet
yeah, because I was getting scared at the things that they were saying at the FAQ beforehand about how if you had the early time at 10 a.m. that the that registration for 10 a.m. was already going to be open at like 8:30 in the morning or something.
Yeah,
and I was like, nope, I'm out of that. There better be a nighttime because.
Well, I got 2 reasons for. There's several reasons I picked the 4 o'clock. One was that, so I don't have to get up at the butt crack of dawn and be there because I'm coming from what should be about an hour away, but depending on traffic, and there shouldn't be any Sunday morning, but like I should be able to fly right by, but you just never know. And then with everybody trying to get into the parking lot too at the same time for the same thing, I just figured I'm pushing time. If I do it at 4 o'clock, I can avoid a couple things. One is that. 2 is lunch. I don't need to worry about lunch. I'll eat lunch and then we'll go and I'll have plenty of time. I don't need to do that. In fact, I can eat lunch and say, okay, hey, now it's time to go. I can head off. I can be at the park well before 2 o'clock, which I thought, okay, that'll work out. And the third is that it's freaking dinner. I don't have to worry about dinner because I want to try some of the food? I do. But if the restaurant is freaking absolutely packed, I don't have to worry about it. Because if you remember when you were in Galaxy's Edge, when they did this, you had that wristband that had the times. You couldn't come back in once you left. And so with my son being a picky eater, not knowing what's on the menu at the time, and I'm telling you right now, as huge a Mario fan as he is, he's not going to eat some of that stuff on that menu. He's not. So that gets me out of that too. I can go, I can try it, I can get a snack, I can try it, and then I don't have to worry about dinner because we have eaten lunch already and it's not quite dinner time past 6 o'clock. I can eat a little bit later and it's not going to be an issue. Plus I get to see it at night. It's right on that time where it's like, okay, I get to go in during the day, but it'll start being dark and the lights will come on while I'm there. And that's something that I never thought about with Galaxy's Edge. Everybody just wanted to kind of do it in the morning, get it over with, be one of the first, not thinking, why didn't I want to come here and see what it looked like at night?
Because it looks amazing at night.
That. Yeah, it does.
I've seen it. It looks amazing.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I can get some of those things kind of done. And then it's still early enough where, again, I don't really want to miss work. So if we're there till 7 o'clock, it takes me an hour to get home. I'm home, still have plenty of time to decompress and get ready for work the next day, which is, that just is what it is. But yeah, man, that system sucked because you got the first day too, or the second day? You got the Tuesday, right?
I got Monday.
You got Monday, the day after. people that went in after me were able to get the February dates. It was so random how that happened. What just popped up for people? It's freaking ridiculous. Like I would have thought the January dates would have gone first.
I mean, you can sing the praises of Disney all you want, but I've had my problems with them in the past that I don't even want to get into. Let's just say that back when they did do AP events, or back when they did do Parks Blog events, they would always say, "Oh, it's going to be at this or to this time," or they would just they won't even tell you when it's going to be. It's just when the post drops, then they feel like doing it. So I would much rather know when the registration is going to be than be like, well, it might be on this day, and you don't know what time it's going to be. And guess what? Our social medias are going to drop their social media posts about 2 minutes after the registration is already open. So by the time you see the social media post, it's already gone. So yeah, don't talk to me about how Disney communicates well through social media.
Well, I wasn't going to, honestly, but they're somewhat better than Universal, which is completely radio silent. I even talked to another big, I'll call him a blogger, whatever you want, who I actually do like, and I mentioned it to him, and he said, yeah, they're really bad with that. Like, you at least know somewhat what's going on. Universal is nothing; it's completely silent. Like, and that's what annoys me, because it's been a couple times now where they've done that. And then after all is freaking said and done, to think, okay, we went through this, we got that, we're pass holders, that's cool, we get to preview this thing. Freaking technical rehearsals, which I understand have to happen. I understand it has to happen. But as we sit here right now, I could get in my truck, drive to Universal, and could probably check out all this crap right now. And that's what bugs me. That should be a more of a random, like, okay, hey, we're just going to do it for a couple hours right now, boom, go. And then we've got it. And okay, yeah, that's it, guys. No more today. But no, it's literally been like running all day. Like, that's freaking annoying. And I understand. And I've seen people post, well, you have to understand, like, not everything is 100% running right now. Like, sometimes the cafe is closed. It's not open right now. Or sometimes the interactivity for this stuff, isn't working. Like, they really are getting all that down, which, but still, to me, like, that's freaking ridiculous. I spent all my time doing this, and you can just walk in because I want to, just because there's people. It's one thing to say if it's completely freaking unannounced and they just say, oh, we're here, we need to test this, come on guys, check this out, versus this has been days from basically opening to closing that we're doing all this stuff, and people are literally like, oh, well, I'm gonna go because I know they're doing this. That's freaking annoying to me. I guess I could go if I wanted to, but like, I don't. I don't want to race over there, and my luck, I'd get there and be like, no, it's closed today.
I mean, that's always been a thing, though. I mean, I know it kind of, when they make a big deal about a pass holder thing, it makes it kind of sting. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's just something that we've always lived with. I mean, technical rehearsals or soft openings has always been a thing. I mean, I remember how many times, this could be off the record, how many times Diggs got pissed off because something was having soft openings 2 days before the opening, and he would get pissed off because he couldn't get over there.
Yeah.
So many times, but it's like it just happened all the time. I mean, I can tell you a story way back in the 90s when they had the pass holder party for the final of the Main Street Electrical Parade. We were supposed to be the last people ever to see the Main Street Electrical Parade, and then they brought it back 2 months later by popular demand. And then it's been brought back how many times since then. But we were supposed to have been the last ones to see it, and then that just ended up being complete bullshit. So it's like, well, I mean, so it's like the theme parks have been screwing us over for years, so we might as well just, accept it as facts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it, but it's freaking annoying. Can you say something, Gina?
No, I think it's interesting because this happens a lot, and I don't have a pass to Universal. I'm kind of debating it.
Yeah.
My sister really wants to go to see Super Nintendo World because like that's what we grew up on. Like we were just talking about how like we used to pause the game and leave the television on because you couldn't restart if you were at like a level, and so like we grew up on this. That was our babysitter in the 80s and early 90s. So we really want to go. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to go for one day with her, then I almost am like, well, I'm probably going to want to go back. So maybe I should just spring for a pass. Because that's what we do. That's what we enjoy doing. And once you put the money out for a pass, like you determine as a pass holder how much money you spend at a park. So you could go there and not spend hardly any money if you so choose to. So I'm debating on that. But that being said, I am very glad that they opened it. I mean, I hate that soft openings kind of screw everyone up, but it's been nice because I have seen the video and the Instagram accounts of people who've already been there, and it has 100% made me just want to go more. And knowing now, like, getting the little wristband thingy, whatever it's called,
power up band or something.
Power up band.
Yeah.
That's an integral part of the land, and that you need to kind of budget the $45 to get one so that you can fully enjoy your experience there. Because like, I'm not buying a Magic Band to Disney because I'm like, well, this is stupid. I don't want to play like one game. But everybody who's gone has said, like, no, you need to get this band, play these games, because that is a very, big part of being there. And yeah, it's very small. It's not very big, but they've put a lot of thought behind this small little space.
Yeah,
can we decide how many we want to buy?
Yeah, can we just appreciate a moment that Universal did actually create something that's useful and usable more than once?
Well, and if you have a Switch,
they took what they did with the wands,
yes,
and they made even more. And I appreciate that, as opposed to Disney, which doesn't.
Well, Disney doesn't have to, and we've had that conversation. Like, Disney is who they are, and they know that they can put out mediocre shit and people keep eating it up. Whereas Universal, it's not necessarily the same. So like, if Universal put out mediocre shit, people would call them on it. And so Universal doesn't. Also, I think they have a much better creative team at Universal, especially Universal Orlando, which I've said to my husband, I'm like, if we go to Florida, I almost want to budget more time for Universal Florida than I would for Disney parks there.
That's their flagship. It's not Hollywood.
Yeah, and absolutely, it's their flagship. And Hollywood is, Hollywood is its own little beast. It's this little thing. But I feel, from what I've seen, now I haven't been there, but just what I've seen, I feel that Universal put more thought and effort and creativity into Super Mario World than Disney has ever done in the Marvel campus. And they're, I think, the same kind of footprint.
We had this conversation back when about Magic Band, when Magic Band Plus was coming to the parks, we're going to buy it. And I had told you, my intent was always like, I will eventually buy it when there is enough stuff to do with it. I don't have a problem with that, but that's been enough to do that. That time has not come. And I initially thought the same thing about the Power Up Band, but I've seen people post like how much is actually done with it.
Yes.
And it really is like, oh crap, I do need to buy one of those. Like from day one, that's kind of cool. Like from day one, it's like, okay, here, we need it. Now I'm just trying to decide, do I want to buy more than one? Because my son is definitely getting one. He's such a huge Mario fan that it's like, yeah, that's going to happen. Probably I'll buy one for my daughter too. I'm unsure about my wife and I, because she has a pass too. I go more than they do, so I'm trying to figure it out.
At the end of, like, if you get so many keys, you get to play a game where your shadow, it's you, and they project your shadow, and you're like trying to defeat.
Oh, I did see something about that. Yeah,
that thing, that alone to me is worth $45 to go. It's kind of, so I'm looking at the Power Band like I look at tipping. If I'm going to a sit down restaurant, I already have budgeted for a good tip. If I'm going to Universal Super Mario World, I'm already budgeting that I have to buy that thing. And also, if you have a Nintendo Switch, the I don't have one. Amoeba something.
Amiibo.
Yeah, that thing. The watch, like, is one. So, like, I don't have that, but if you do, I've heard those are expensive. And so you get to use it in a different way. So, like, for me, I'm like, well, I'm already going to buy one if I go there. And I would buy one for my sister as a gift to her, even if she never went back to Universal, just so she could fully experience that land when we go. And I would wait in a standby queue to get in there, because if we go to Universal, that is literally why we're going. Like, she and I, because she does not care about Harry Potter. She gives nothing about the rest of Universal. Universal has never been on my sister's radar, but Super Mario World has put it on her radar, and she would spend money just to go there. So good job to Universal on that one.
So can I say, we would spend all this time trashing Magic Band Plus essentially, but when I was there at the park a couple of weeks ago, the line for the bounty hunter game to go activate your thing or whatever it is that you got to do, there's a little station right across from the outpost, right across from where Ronald Roasters is. There's a little station over there next to looks like a garage because there's a land speeder in there. You know what I'm talking about, Anthony?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
land speeders. Okay, right next to it is like a power bank in the wall right there. That's where you do whatever you're gonna do. The line was freaking crazy long. I was like,
wow.
What the hell is that line? There's no. Oh, that's for the Magic Band Plus. The people are doing it. I know from someone who's done it, and from what I've seen, like it's not worth my cost yet to do that because there's not enough that I can do with it. And again, I'm looking at it mostly from like, I want my ticket right here, I want my discount, but even that's not there yet. So
yeah,
not where it should
have
be.
Enough for it. Also, Universal's is super cute. Like it's big, it's cartoony, it's gimmicky. You could choose different ones. Like it's
my only issue with it is the size. It just would have been so much better if it would have been so much bigger. I hope they have plans for. And as somebody pointed out, Super Nintendo World has a lack of a lot of things other than Mario. Even their initial rollout of power-up bands themselves, that's a Mario term. I would have liked to have seen more Zelda in a Super Nintendo land. I would have liked to have seen at least one Zelda power-up band. That would have been nice. But the initial 6 power-up bands, I don't know if you guys have seen them, are all Mario, of course, related. There's the 2 princesses. There's Mario, Luigi, Toad, and
they have a lot of them.
The dinosaur.
There's Mario, Luigi, Toad, Yoshi,
that's
Princess.
the one. Yeah, the 2 princesses.
I want to say that there's just 5. I don't remember.
No, there's 6. I just named them.
He did, but he cut out a little bit.
Oh yeah,
like the audio cut out a little bit.
Did it? That's weird.
Yeah.
No, it was the 2 princesses: Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Yoshi.
There's 2 princesses that they have. I just have heard so much Princess Peach. And by the way, side note, have you seen that Princess Peach has full-on lamb chop sideburns?
No.
Oh my gosh. Go take a look at the Princess Peach meet and greet. Poor girl has like Elvis lamb chops from this.
Oh, yeah,
They're so bad.
I've heard that the characters, at least the Mario and Luigi characters, are not very good. That they're played by people who obviously have never played characters before.
I know Princess Peach talks.
Good thing they have technical rehearsals.
Right.
Oh, Dan.
Maybe that's what it's for, Dan.
Yeah.
All the technical rehearsals were 100% for like character integrity.
But
and the ride.
I hope they don't sign to anybody.
Oh no.
You need to do the ride twice. They've said you've got to do the ride once without the visor and then another time with it. Because there are like it gives you 2 totally separate experiences and both are really good.
So with the ride, we have seen people that are of larger size fit on the thing, because Universal has been posting that like people with maybe bigger than 40-inch waists might not fit on the ride, but we have seen fat fucks. Yes, I'm talking to that YouTuber who blocked me, by the way, Anthony. Certain fucker of blocked me because I talk shit to him.
Well, a lot of people are talking shit on his live, so a lot of people are upset with him. But so yes, I have seen larger people fit. Here's the thing. I think Universal,
he's bigger than me, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, and I think Universal has 100% put that on a lot of their ride vehicles, only because it sort of protects them from somebody coming out and being like, well, you said 45 and I'm a 43-inch and I don't fit. So I think they purposefully scale it down. It also does have to do with where you carry your weight.
Yeah, I figured that.
But I'll tell you, here's a fatty tip. I've been doing this for years. Before you sit, bring the lap bar. This one says the lap bar just goes to you, but like on any ride where you have a seat belt or you have a lap bar, if you try to bring it down as you're sitting, or if you pull the seatbelt out the whole way and put it in before you sit down.
That's what I do on Star Tours.
Yes, and that is a fat girl tip. Especially like if you carry your weight in your stomach, try to get that bar like under the gut a little bit, and it will totally help you fit on a ride.
That doesn't work on the Harry Potter ride because of the way that Harry Potter's its own thing. Like this last time that I went, I actually didn't get on the ride because I didn't I don't fit. I didn't get the light, and it's tough because the way that ride is designed. Like, am I a big dude? I'm a big dude, but I'm stocky. I'm stocky too. So if you looked at me, I'm unassumingly I'm heavier than you think.
I have a big ass.
So. The Harry Potter. I don't have a big tummy. Is the thing. I don't have a big stomach. I'm big in the chest. I'm a real broad-shouldered.
Which makes stuff that has shoulder bars hard for you.
Yes, and then the way they design them, they want 3 clicks out of the thing for safety. That's when it goes. I can get 2 myself. I need to have somebody push me for that 3rd click to get it, because the way it's like I just can't do it. Like the way my arms are wedged in the thing, I can't push it down on myself. It has to be somebody else that pushes me in. And their rule is you can't have any of their employees do the pushing. It has to be somebody from your party. Well, the other day when I went, it was like only my 2 kids. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna skip it. You guys go. I'm gonna go get a warm butterbeer. Like, you know. So there it goes. But yeah, that's Universal's been called out for that before, because a lot of people have problems with that and the Secret Life of Pets ride.
And by the way, for the secret, I get the Harry Potter ride because I know the Harry Potter ride is a bit more intense. I've been on it, but from what I've heard, but there is zero reason for the Secret Life of Pets to not be fat friendly. There's not one.
No way at all.
No. Yeah, I heard that. I was warned that I might not be able to get on Secret Life of Pets, and I'm like, well, that's fine. I'll go on Minions.
Well, there is a vlogger that I follow who is a bigger guy, and he did not fit on Secret Life of Pets. And honestly, if you looked at him, you're like, well, why not? But several people have said that. And the thing that I argue is, if it is the tamest ride ever, the Secret Life of Pets is like an effing dark ride. There is zero reason why you need to make that not fat friendly. Like, I get it, be fat phobic. I don't give a shit. On the larger Velocicoasters, I understand. We don't need people falling out of Velocicoaster. Right. But ain't nobody falling out of the Secret Life of Pets there, Universal. That ride was made fat, unfriendly for zero purpose. And I get the feeling that the same thing is for this Koopa ride or whatever. But from what I've seen, every vlogger I follow, and a lot of vloggers, definitely in the plus size category, they have all fit. So I think Universal has a test seat, and they say that disclaimer.
And they have they have test seats for both rides in Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. So it does track for them to have a test seat. Do they have a test seat for Secret Life of Pets?
I believe they do, yes.
I think they do,
actually. Seems to be at least something that they're staying consistent with, which is good.
But get this. So
as opposed to 20 years ago when I went through 2 hours
falling out of Secret Life of Pets.
20 years ago, I went through 2 hours of line for the Hulk coaster at Islands of Adventure, not to be able to get on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you're going to have rides that are not fat friendly or short people friendly or big boob friendly or whatever, just put a test seat out front. It really saves everybody time, trouble, and drama. Because let me tell you, doing the walk of shame is not fun, especially as a woman.
I've done it too.
I've done it.
Horrible.
I've done it on an Accelerator at Knott's, mm-hmm. which incidentally, they're one of the first ones I ever saw a test seat was at Knott's, and it was on an Accelerator. But
in time too.
But I couldn't get on it because there was people sitting in it like it was a fucking seat.
Oh, I threw a lady out.
Which I've seen that also at Universal on both of the ones.
I told the lady to straight get out. I told the lady on Harry Potter, hey, I need to check that out. Can you move, please?
Right.
And I don't think she spoke English. And then I said, I mumbled something in Spanish. I don't think she spoke Spanish either, but she got the hint that I want you out the seat. So and then when I came back to look for my kid, she was still freaking sitting there.
Wow. I had to do the walk of shame on Ghost Rider because I didn't know that they had added a fucking divider in the seat.
Yes. That is some bullshit.
I could just squeeze in there with somebody smaller, but then they added that divider, which is not large ass friendly, and now I can't get on Ghost Rider.
And that's why Disney also has such a loyal fan base. Like, Disney is the most fat friendly theme park that I have ever seen. And like, at one point I was almost 400 pounds and I'm not even 5'2". So I was a large girl. And I got to the point where I just quit going to theme parks because I'm like, none of these are good. I can go on like 2 rides and walk around and I'm like, this isn't fun. But Disney was always different. And so like,
they're very accommodating.
Yes. And they can be. If Disney can make Incredicoaster fat friendly, I've seen people on Incredicoaster well over 400 pounds. That's a mild coaster ride.
Right.
Why are more places not doing it? Because they don't have to? Maybe. But like, a lot of people are fat. We like to go on rides. Like, it costs $0 to think of the plus size community when you're doing
at the same time too. It's like I'm of the mind that I'm like, you know what, if it's gonna make the ride safer for a bunch of other people, then I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm not gonna risk other people's lives because I want to be able to get on a ride as a fat person. I've seen too many things where fat people risk the other people's lives, and you know how many other people could have died when that woman fell out of Tidal Wave at Knott's Berry Farm.
Plunge, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, a bunch of other people could have died.
But she did something. Like, she didn't just slip out of the ride. Like, the kid who died in Orlando, that was not his fault. He got in, he buckled up, and they didn't check his seat. The person at the Tidal Wave ride in Knott's Berry Farm, they did something to, like, they messed up with the safety. Not victim blaming, because that was horrible, but like,
right.
It wasn't just the ride. But like, there are ways to make rides more accommodating. And again, not everyone, obviously we can't accommodate everyone because little people have problems getting on rides too. But there are ways, like Disney can do it. And Tron, I don't know if you've heard this, but from what I've read,
I'm really worried not to be able to get on Tron.
Well, but they have
heart.
accommodating seats. So on Tron, they have the ones where you're like riding a motorcycle, but they have accessible seating that isn't just for plus size, but plus size can use it.
Interesting.
But it's also for like people who can't throw their leg over and sit on it like a motorcycle. Because I know Pandora, the ride in Pandora Avatar thing, whatever it is, that gets a lot of grief in the plus size community because that one is also not very fluffy friendly. But
the flying one.
Yeah, but there's no, but and I get it for roller coasters. Again, I do understand that for roller coasters, even though there are ways to make it. But like these rides where it's like a fucking dark ride.
Yeah, no, there's no excuse for that.
There's no reason to make this not accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
That's just some absolute garbage.
You know what though? You know, you can say what you want about Disney though, is that the dark ride queues are not fat friendly.
Because they were
Fantasyland. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're a tight fit. They can be a tight fit for people.
Like I have trouble with particularly the old turnstiles. I have the best rides to me at Disneyland now are the ones that have ditched turnstiles altogether because I don't have to worry about trying to break my phone. I've almost broken my phone trying to get through those.
Fun fact: if you do struggle with turnstiles at Disneyland, because DCA doesn't have this problem, they're fully accessible. If you go to a cast member and tell them that you cannot get through the turnstile, they will accommodate you. They will either take you a different way or they will treat you like if you have like a disability, like a wheelchair or a walker or something, and give you a return time. There are ways that you can get around those turnstiles because like on Jungle Cruise especially, you can dip out early before the turnstile and you can like go to the CM that's waiting there. And just let them know, say, I can't fit through the turnstile. They would rather you tell them that you're not going to fit than have somebody get stuck or hurt not being able to fit. But that's because like Disney was made in the 50s when they didn't really have to
when everybody was I mean, you're not gonna say there wasn't fat people in the 50s, but
it was different then. But look,
it was a different time, and everybody wore suits.
Yeah, well, and they didn't account for disability. They didn't account for wheelchairs. We didn't have the ADA until the late 70s. So
right.
Disney was just built at a different time, and they're not going to rip all those lines out just to make them accommodating because they've been grandfathered in.
And just a funny note about
Gina, refurb.
I mean, it's a funny note about ADA is obviously ADA doesn't apply to fat people, as noted by the fact that when I worked at Universal, I worked on the ET ride, and on the ET ride, I don't know if you've been on the ET ride. You sit like you're on a bicycle with little tiny bucket seats, and but we had an ADA vehicle which basically you lost the first 2 rows, and then you could put a wheelchair and strap it down very, very tightly, and then a person could ride the ride in their wheelchair, and then there was still one more row in the back for people to ride with them. But if you had a large ass, you couldn't even get your ass in the seat very comfortably. So it's like, well, you could get on the ride in a wheelchair, but you can't even get in the ride with a big fat ass. That was the point of that story. Was that the little bucket seat was very small, metal bars, and metal hurts your sides of your butt. And, yeah, it's just a whole thing.
He just wanted to keep saying big fat ass.
I mean,
I keep thinking of the song, I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Time to move on. So, yeah, well, a tell-all will happen in a few weeks when
yes.
Anthony and I go.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to what you guys think.
I wanted to make a note about prices because it's interesting because we've been looking a lot at the pricing because, of course, the Super Nintendo Land in Japan opened quite some time ago, and it's been going for a while now. But you'll be interested to know that the pricing between things in Japan and the prices we're looking at getting here are really not that far off. $5 difference in the power up band, $5 more here, which isn't too bad. Whereas most things, when you look at most things at like USJ compared to here, or even Tokyo Disneyland and here, usually has a much larger markup. But and then some of the foods now. So far, the things that have been appearing during the technical rehearsals for the Power Up or the whatever the food place, whatever it's called, I forget what it's called.
I think it's One Up. Is it? Yeah, Toad's Cafe.
Toad's Cafe.
Oh, Toad's Cafe. One Up is the store.
One Up is the store.
Yeah. Toad's Cafe has about 75% or about 60% of the Japan's menu. But supposedly they're supposed to have everything that's on Japan's menu by opening day. So
does that mean they're going to reprint menus? Because I already saw a menu.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I mean. There's somebody in Universal supposedly saying that they're supposed to have the complete menu that's in Japan there, but as of right now, they don't. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, do they have other menus, or are they just putting out menus for between now and the opening, which seems like a waste of money to me? But
yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't know. Because a lot of things are only a couple dollars more. If some things like the drinks, I think, are exactly the same price. Also, the only real big difference is there's a dish that in Japan was a chicken curry, but here it's been turned into a chicken pesto. And that's been the only real difference between a lot of the dishes, which is surprising because a lot of the dishes are very Japanese. So there's going to be definitely a very Japanese influence. There's a very Japanese influence on the dishes.
The food looks adorable.
That's because it was designed by Japanese.
It is so cute. I don't necessarily know if I want to eat there, but I definitely want to just look at the food. because it's super cute.
I'll eat there if I can the first time. I really is just like I want to check everything out. For something tells me that they're not going to be very strict on who's in and out, even though they're doing these 2-hour shifts. I don't think they're going to be very strict about it. You would hope they'd say, okay, you can get on the ride. You know, you're ideally you'd have a ban, but none of us know. I guess technically I'm going to be the first one that finds out because I have that first day. But you would think that's what they do to kind of limit it the way it's supposed to be, where it's like, okay, yeah, everybody kind of you can get on the ride, you know, probably once, but then, you know, past your time, you can't do it again, or, you know, something in place to control crowds a little bit, because it's going to need to be controlled a little bit at first, now that they're doing it like this. So I don't know, we'll see. Maybe you can take some hints there from Disney, who has done something similar already. You'd imagine that some of those Galaxy's Edge things that they used will pan out, because virtual queue I think is a thing, which that leads me to another point. I have no idea why Secret Life of Pets has virtual queue. That's the dumbest thing ever. Like, it should be it's consistently moving, so I don't know why the wait times sometimes get the way that they are. That's ridiculous to me. But people have been saying that it's going to be on a virtual queue to get into the land too, which is, you see with Disney, the way that they handled it, it wasn't needed, not really. So we'll see. Hopefully they can work that out. And hopefully,
if there's one thing that Universal doesn't do very well outside of or inside of the park, as opposed to, I mean, outside of the park they're not too bad, but inside of the park they don't do crowd control very well. As evidenced by during the holidays when they do their little nighttime spectacular thing above Hogwarts Castle, and when people are trying to get into Harry Potter Land for that, and they have the whole entire outside of Harry Potter, you know, there's that walkway that leads into Simpsons. You have that whole entire walkway blocked off.
Oh, do they? I was just going to ask you about that.
When you're coming from towards the entrance of the park, they have it the whole entire thing blocked off, and you have to walk all the way around past Secret Life of Pets, Minions, all the way back down towards down the French area, and then around. And then when you get back to the same where you were, then you can continue on into Simpsons. And that's how they were doing it during Christmas, and that's anytime they have something big going on in Harry Potter, that's what they do. Because they even did it last time when I was there. So it's like they don't, I don't know, they didn't design the front area of Harry Potter very good, even though they knew exactly what they were doing when they designed that big area in front of Harry Potter, but yet they still can't figure out how not to have to send everybody around through the whole entire upper lot just so you can get to Simpsons.
I haven't seen that. Anytime that I've been, they put up the little barriers that you see like at a concert venue. They have those, and it's like the right hand side of it is that's the queue to get into Harry Potter,
right?
And it's just that side, and then the rest of it is just kind of traffic up there where the plaza is into Simpsons area, or Simpsons Land, or whatever it's called.
Right.
That's what I've seen. I've never seen it go all the way around where you're saying Illumination or whatever the area is called. I've never seen it go through there. But again, I haven't been there when it's been absolutely packed either. But even when it gets busy, because I did notice the other day when we were up there doing some. Oh, I think when after we'd eaten and decided to go on the tram, they had that little barrier up. It wasn't too long, but it definitely does separate like where you're going. You want to go to Harry Potter, go on this side, everything else is down over here. But when we got off the tram, I knew the Harry Potter time was down because I had seen it on the app, and I just went in that back walkway. So I was actually going to ask you, do they block that off? Or
they block that off. They don't even let you walk that way when they're doing entrance through the front. They block that off completely, and they have cast members back there. And then, you know.
Yeah.
And then even there next to Mel's Diner, and then even that little alleyway that's beyond that, they put up barricades there so you can't even cut through when you're going towards Minions, when you can't even cut through to the right anywhere along that whole little diamond area. You can't cut through anywhere because they put up barricades at every single entrance. I think the only place where you could actually cut through finally is at the tiny alleyway all the way across. That's across from the little water area to the right of Minions.
Oh, okay. Silly Fun Land or whatever it's called.
Whatever it's called.
Super Silly Fun Land or something.
I don't know what it's themed as, but I don't know. I just know that I know there's a bathroom there that you can't get to unless you go through the water thing.
I didn't know there was a bathroom there. I'm still not caught up on all that. I still haven't seen whatever Kung Fu Panda is. That's the only thing I haven't done at the park.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that either.
I don't know. I don't even know what it is. Like it's a show. It's a show, right?
Well, yeah, Kung Fu Panda took over for the old Shrek 3D.
Okay. Oh well, I'd never done that because I hadn't been Universal in
Shrek,
many years.
Shrek 3D was there for like 15 years since when I worked there.
So I will end up checking that out eventually, and I will be there the first day of the pass holder preview because that's what I got reserved. So Anthony going that week, so hopefully that weekend we can get something done to put it out to give our thoughts on that. I still, even through all this, I'd still recommend a Universal Pass. It doesn't replace the Disney one, like at all, not in my opinion. There's a lot more I get out of Disney, and it's something I can go to every week. I know there are people that do go to Universal once a week. That's never going to be me because of one, distance, and there's just not the same things to do there. I'm slowly figuring out like where I can kind of eat that I like, who has what. I just said I don't know where all the restrooms are at even yet. I know a few of them, but I'll learn. I'll definitely probably go more this year partially because of Super Nintendo World than I did in 2022. But I'm looking forward to it.
It's to hang out. If you get a chance, Hollywood and what used to be Hollywood and Dine is still called Hollywood and Dine.
Yeah,
it's the one that's there.
It's got some Asian fusion.
Stuff. That Asian stuff came in during Lunar New Year and then inexplicably never left. Lunar New Year last year, I mean, or yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I think Universal's also doing a Lunar New Year something again this year. So
they are, but it's limited. It's limited dates, and what I actually don't like here. I guess this is going to be called the Universal culture today, but what I don't like was that I had kind of wanted to go see the Grinchmas stuff, but the time that it happens is so limited. It's actually really limited. It literally ends on January 1st. So right. I actually even contemplated, because I went on January 1st last year and was able to see it. That was just a bonus, right? But I guess this year the pass that I have was blocked. Either mine or the kids, I don't remember which one, was blocked on January 1st. And the thing is because it fell on a Sunday.
Right.
But they should give it a few more days, because I went on the 7th, and not that I expect Disney, like, boom, one day to the next is gone, because that's not how it happens. But the tree was still there. The area was blocked off, but the tree was still there, and the decorations are all still there. Matter of fact, some of the decorations are still there, and I saw somebody saying, that Lunar New Year stuff is supposed to come in like pretty quick. It's like they're not going to have all this Christmas stuff down by the time Lunar New Year starts. Like it's just not going to happen. So I mean, that's kind of. I wish they would extend that a little bit. Well, yeah, I mean, you got crews that work, and I know they work overnight. But
one thing is that the large amount of rain we've had will have put them behind.
Yeah. On
taking down stuff. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been to Disneyland or not. I'm sure they're behind probably on taking down stuff too.
Actually, I don't think I've gone since the 2nd. We haven't had a visit
in a couple of weeks.
I'm supposed to go this weekend.
I know rain definitely affects them, because I remember, in fact, first week of January of 2016 it was, and a week. And Disneyland's Christmas was supposed to end on Thursday or something, but then it rained all that week, and they still had everything up through the weekend.
So it ended on it hasn't even been that long. It ended on the 8th, so it's only been a week. So yeah, and yes, most of that week has Well, most of the back half of the week has been rain. So they probably got stuck down the first couple of days.
If they've taken the tree down, because the tree is usually the first thing to come down. But I know if it does rain, that they have trouble taking the tree down if it's been raining.
Speaking of tree, and here's one more thing to say, and then we can switch to some Disney stuff. And that I don't like that. I don't like that it was like the first and then it's over, because they blocked us out from Universal too, from the day after Christmas into New Year's, which I know was the busiest days at that park too. But it would have been nice to see some of that stuff still, because people are still on vacation.
Yeah, they've always had Grinchmas end on the first. It's always been like that. I think that Universal's not always been so much to milk, having it go into January too much. They're always been pretty strict about having Grinchmas end right on the dot. Because I even remember a few years ago, I wanted to go, and there was like it ended on the first, and I was like, okay, well, yeah, it only has that. It starts Thanksgiving weekend and then ends the first. They don't have that big old huge buffer like Disneyland starts the beginning of November and goes through the first week of January. So you have that much smaller window.
Do you think it's time to expand that now? Because
I don't see
you've got so many people that just opted to go there instead of Disney with the passes, because the way that system works.
I don't know. I would have thought that if they were going to do it this year would have been, or this last year would have, this last time would have been the time to do it. I don't see, if they didn't do it this time, why they would do it next year. There's something would have to happen of why they would all of a sudden, or if they decided to eventually, if they decide to move away from Grinchmas and do something else, they would probably have to have another property come up that would be more interesting. I'm surprised they haven't found a way to incorporate Christmas and Fast and the Furious.
I don't know, but Fast and the Furious is supposed to take over the stunt show and the pets thing. That's actually what's supposed to take over. It's supposed to be a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
You're
not alone in that feeling.
You're not alone in that feeling, but it is going to be interesting to see what they do from something that's for the most part a pretty dead franchise.
Because there's so many better things that they could have done with that space.
Yeah, well, that's what's going on with that. So the Christmas tree, I have seen a lot of pictures because it has been raining so much. I've seen a lot of pictures of the tree where the bottom 1/4 is not lit on the Disney tree, and I never really gave it a whole lot of thought, other than when I was there. Actually, I think on the second, because it started raining when I was there, and the bottom 1/4 of the tree wasn't lit, and I was talking, I realized this happens when it rains.
Yeah.
It's
we've seen that in the past, haven't we?
We have
like 2-3 years ago about the lights on the tree on the other podcast about the lights on the tree.
Yes, and it always turns out to be that's when it rains, and finally found a plausible reason why that is. It's the plugs. It's the GFCI plugs. Like they trip. So they're on different plug. They trip to avoid any kind of electrocution for anybody. And it was like, oh, that just makes sense. And it is always when it rains, or it's like really cold to the point where it gets like, it gets moisture in the box that they're in. So it trips as it trips the plugs. That's what it is. The explanation is that simple, but a lot of people which is kind of like, it sucks, but it's like you see a lot of people and I even took some pictures of some people that were there that wanted a picture where the bottom half was like kind of out, and I was like, your picture, I'm gonna take it, but it sucks. Yeah, but here you go. So DCA's tree, I don't think has that problem because it's up higher.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that problem. So I thought that was kind of funny. Disney, what's about 100th? It's almost to the 100th. We're like, as we record this, what, about 10 days out or something like that?
Can I talk for a minute about how Disney doesn't seem to be making it plain what the 100th is about?
What do you mean? I mean, I know what it's about, but I'm trying to see what you're getting at.
What I'm getting at is Disney doesn't seem to be. Do you think that the regular person, like not us, do you think the regular person sees the commercials on TV for the Disneyland 100th and thinks that the park is 100th, or do you think that it's for like Walt's 100th, or they're nothing in the marketing or the merchandise or anything tells you that it's Disney is celebrating its 100th birthday as a Walt Disney
company.
Pictures. Walt Disney Pictures is celebrating its 100th birthday as a company. Nothing in any of the marketing or the merchandise tells you that, and they're not making it much an effort to change that.
I think you're 100% right. I don't think they're doing that.
The normal person looks at that and they're thinking, wow, Disneyland is celebrating its 100th birthday? That sounds weird. I don't think Disneyland's been around that long. Or the random person in the Midwest is like, well, I guess I didn't know Disneyland's been around that long. You know, I don't know, because it just seems like that. It's like, if I was a regular person, I would look at these commercials, particularly the ones I've been seeing like during football and stuff, and think, I don't know what the hell Disneyland's celebrating. 100th something. Because you know who else is celebrating their 100th birthday this year too?
Who?
Well, Warner Brothers Studios.
Oh yeah, huh?
Warner Brothers Studios around the 1st did a bunch of. They changed all of their social medias briefly to a 100th logo that had the Warner Brothers shield with a 100 years. And you know what? I understood what that meant, because the Warner Brothers shield means something, because it's a specific logo. Now, granted, Warner Brothers has come under turmoil in recent years because of the old Discovery purchase and Zaslav, or whatever the hell his name is, turning the company into a joke. But you know what? You look at the Warner Brothers shield, and that represents Warner Brothers Studios and everything it stands for, and you understand when you see 100 under it. Oh, they're celebrating their 100th year as a company.
I think that's because of what it is. It exists as, you know, that to be a movie studio.
But when you see Disney 100, well, Disney has its hands in so many things. Warner Brothers is Warner Brothers. Disney has its hands.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So many things. Disney Parks, Disney Studios, Disney Animation. What is it the 100th of? They're not telling us. And I mean, if you don't already know, I guess you're just supposed to guess.
What they're gonna do is make a killing on all the freaking merchandise, though.
Oh yeah.
But the merchandise
and
last time, the merchandise has been pretty underwhelming. As far as I'm concerned.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second.
I mean, unless you get,
because I see what you're saying, and then there is some stuff that's actually platinum, because it was at D23, the platinum ears and all that, which I don't have an interest in. Where you freaking got me is the fact that they use black and silver. That's where you freaking got me.
Capitalizing on those Raiders fans.
Yeah, we're still there. Okay, we're still there, but that's where you got me. So I'm already in for a shirt that I saw at the park that I sent a picture of to Gina. Yeah, it's a nice looking shirt.
I like the shirt.
I like the shirt, and it's black, so it's like, oh, I'm gonna wear this. I got hooked today for one of the jackets because Target.
Is it the zip up hoodie?
It's the zip up sweatshirt.
Yeah.
I got hooked for one of those because it was like, dude, this is black and it's actually kind of nice. So that's kind of where I exist.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for black too. So
yeah, so that's where they got me. It's that. It's not the stupid, like, I don't care about the platinum ears and all the other crap, the like Pandora jewelry. I don't care. But it's like, what am I going to use that's functional? It's the t-shirts and the sweaters. I don't have a lot of Disney jackets because I can't justify the price of them, because it's like, yes, I have a couple of Spirit jerseys and we know how that worked out. But like, we've got that. But like, this kind of falls in line with that. I'm like, dude, could I wear that? I would wear that. So
I just don't understand, because purple is right there in Centennial is purple, and they're not using purple. And I mean, yes, the Mickey and Minnie, I believe, have purple waistcoats.
Yeah, they do. There's some purple in there.
There is some purple in there, but it's like, it's so like, but then you have all the sparkly and stuff. It just kind of gets lost in everything, and it's like you don't know what the hell they're doing. What the hell they're? I'm like, I don't know what. I'm like, I know what they're celebrating, but yet I don't.
I don't think they do, because I don't think it's been made very clear.
Well, we talked about that last. We talked about that last episode.
We're gonna get a year-long celebration of something that's like, okay, we're gonna get some new merchandise. We're gonna get some new pins, because those have come out a bunch of the pins have come out, and they look nice because the characters are done up in the black and the platinum or silver, whatever color you want to call it. They look nice. Like there's been a couple of those purchased too, and that's just going to continue. You were always going to use it as a marketing scheme, and the damn thing worked because that color combo is something I can't stay away from.
I mean, it's just going to all get lost, and like we talked about last episode, that the reason that probably the 100 seems underwhelming and not very thought out is because they just came off of a big push on the 50th of Walt Disney World, and
lasted like 18 months. They did like an 18-month.
It was 2020.
Yeah, but even then, though, the problem with that is that the planning for that came long before pandemic started. So they were planning for a Walt Disney World 50th without pandemic. So all of their plans that they had involved for the 50th of Walt Disney World were basically gone to shit because basically went to shit because the pandemic, and then so they had to plan a 50th around pandemic as opposed to a pandemic less 50th, which would have been, I'm sure, much more grand, and then they would have had other teams probably set aside to work on the 100th, but instead everything went to shit. So
and by God, Anthony, they did it.
Yeah, but I'd like to point out then, I'm sure nobody's thought about that. Here we are in the year of our Lord 2023, 2 years until Disneyland's 70th. So what do you think is going to start to be the planning for Disneyland's 70th has already begun?
I think that they're just going to go like 50 to 75. I think the 70th will be pretty low key.
It will be.
Having a lot of drama in the executive offices. They're losing
a
ton of money at Disney Plus because a lot of people are turning away from a lot of the streaming services. Like we're seeing another shift in that. And,
which is crazy because I think streaming services are great.
Well, and even Netflix.
I get so much more content for the price of all my streaming services than I ever would get with cable.
See, and I don't see the value in it, but that's another conversation for another day. But like Disney is having a lot.
I love media though.
And and I think that Disney is looking at they're like, let's do this 100th because 100th is fun. It's a nice, good number, and
it is
we'll
good
play
number.
this up. It's got pretty colors. I do like that they're doing a lot more black. I like black and silver together. I would love to see purple and black and silver. I love a dark purple. I'm a woman and I don't like all that other crap. I have one Loungefly bag and it's Deadpool riding a unicorn over a rainbow. So I guess I'm not your target demographic for a lot of chick stuff. But I don't have any interest in the charms or the ears or any of that myself. I did like a few of the jackets and the hoodies. You can never have enough hoodies. I would like to see, for merch, I like the t-shirts and the hoodies. I want to see more cool kids stuff because I love to put my niece in Disney merch. She specifically likes Donald. That's her favorite character. And I'm going to be honest, it's really difficult to find Donald merch in a kid's outfit, but I found a few. Anyway,
just a note that I looked it up. Apparently, a 70th anniversary is a platinum jubilee, so they're just a little bit early with the platinum, I guess.
They are, but that's why I think that they'll probably acknowledge it. They'll be like, "Yay, we turned 70," but I really think that they're.
You know what I think? That they're going to treat the 70th anniversary of Disneyland just like every other, big number, and they're going to treat it the same as they did Mickey's 90th anniversary. They're going to go over the top like they always do, and they're going to make a big deal about it. And then 5 years later, they're still going to make a big deal about the 75th. Plus, it's called a platinum jubilee. You can't have a platinum jubilee without having some sort of jubilee. It's in the word jubilee.
They'll give you a cupcake. They'll throw some ears at you that look like they've been crafted by a 7th grader, and you'll like it.
And a button. Don't forget the button. We must have the button.
They'll give you a button. And then they'll make you.
You're gonna have the Oprah designer ears and.
I'm sure Ashley Eckstein will do something.
Oh, of course.
I really wish, because like when I go out in the sun, I have to wear hats, and I really wish Disney would do more for like not a frickin' bucket hat. Do I look like Gilligan? Do I have an island? No, I don't want a bucket hat. Thanks, Disney,
Hey.
but I'm good.
Bucket hats don't fit some of us.
I like
Some
bucket
of us got
hats.
big domes.
Exactly.
But they don't
Like-
fit. Like, it's not going to be a good fit on you. If you've ever tried one of the ones they have that's a one size fit most,
You know what you need?
I wear a
As somebody who has
smaller
a big head, what you need is not a bucket hat, but a boonie hat. Because it has more of the flatter. I used to, before I got my nice, before I graduated to the nice hats, I used to wear a boonie hat. There's pictures of us in the lounge at Club 33 with me wearing a boonie hat. So
So
for
anyway,
all occasions.
correct. And I
Yeah,
mean,
like, ears,
how can I
like,
have a big head at a
stuff.
7.5? That's a freaking common size. But whatever.
7.5 is a big head because that's what size I wear.
Yes.
I wish that like I would like to see other things. Like, look, I'm sure people love them. Lots of people do, but I'm never gonna buy a pair of Crocs. It's not happening. So I love that Disney has Crocs for people, but like I'm not their demographic there. So I don't know. I think I would like to see just like some other things, but they push all their merch, and now they're starting to share merch between the parks. Like I've seen Walt Disney World merch here at Disneyland, and I know at Disney World they have Disneyland stuff. Alani, they have some Alani merch at Walt Disney World. I haven't seen any at Disneyland, but I haven't really been looking. So, I think that they're
Is
just
that merch for everybody, or is that merch just for Vacation Club?
No, it was at the store. It was just like
Weird.
at the store. I was watching some Walt Disney World vloggers, and they were just walking around the stores there, and they found Disneyland and Alani merch at the
Weird.
Poly. They found Alani at the Poly, which makes sense.
Oh, well.
But Disney, like I like Disney, I do. I have a great time when we go to Disneyland. I went to Knott's Berry Farm recently, and it was good, but like it ain't Disney. But Disney doesn't have to be an A student. Disney can be a B minus C plus student, and people will fawn over it and offer it college scholarships because it's Disney.
It's true. But then at the same time, I feel like that you should hold Disney to a higher standard. I try to, but I'm a better person, I guess, than most yahoos out there that just like, oh, Disney, oh. I'm like, I don't like to use the word because it gets thrown around. Like, the term shill gets thrown around by some people on the internet the same way that woke does, as far as I'm concerned. But some people really are shills. Like that's certain bloggers, who the ones are that will not say a bad thing about anybody. And then just recently, I was surprised to see a certain blogger that we won't mention, but we probably know, who actually had a bad thing to say about a park recently, and I was actually shocked.
I think that there's like with Disney, if you're bigger in the vlogging world and you have kind of a following, you're not like a lower level vlogger, you can get a lot of clicks and views when you trash Disney, but like you can only trash your meal ticket for so long. Like, Dan, me, we're critical of Disney because we can be, and because we could say like, hey, you could make this better if you wanted to.
Well, yeah, because they're not giving us shit.
Right, we're not getting anything out of this.
Right.
But I think that like for Disney, everybody thought that Bob Iger was going to come back and that like all of their Disney wishes would come true. And I'm like, bro, he has stockholders, like he has to answer to them. And Disney, the parks are only a small part of the Disney cash cow.
Which to me is a nice segue, though, because there have been some changes made recently that are
Lord and Savior has acted.
Right to that. What's that?
Our Lord and Savior has acted.
Yes.
Yes, he has bestowed upon us.
Because we
graciously let us have a couple things.
Yeah, we haven't obviously waited until the end of the show to talk about those few little changes.
I don't care. That seemed like a good time to do it now.
For it.
I actually didn't really pay attention to all the things because I'm not a pass holder, so I didn't care.
Yeah, okay.
But I did notice the change of the park hopping was switched from 1 o'clock to 11 a.m., which
is probably the biggest one that was concerning me, and I don't really even care.
Right.
I'm rarely there that point, but it does make it easier for if I'm going with somebody or somebody got added to the reservation and you can only get a different park. Maybe we can go a little bit early and I don't have to worry about that. I can park up before that. That's the biggest thing. I can't even, and Gina's, I'm looking at the castle there. I don't even remember what the other one was. There was another one. I did hear that they were going to drop the price of some dates, like how much a day pass cost.
Probably
because the lowest,
it was also a lot of
tier is like $104. Oh, what did you see? Because I really don't even remember. That was the only one that concerned me. Was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. We can park up a little earlier now, and that's as much as that's as excited as I got.
Well, that's why that was the only one that I remembered. The lowest tier, lowest cost tickets available on more days this year.
Yeah, and there was some times that were a little bit more.
Yeah, I got an article. I found it. I was just looking here.
Gina, do you remember what any of the other stuff that the Savior gave us? The park hopping thing we talked about. You guys
already mentioned the park hopping earlier. And then he gifted us. That was the only one that really I want to say.
Oh, the other big thing, the photo pass.
The photo pass, and then they're going to open up. They are going to release more passes this year.
They're going to resume sales of Magic Key.
Right. Are they going to do it covertly in the dead of the night for 24 hours and then stop again?
The way it was worded was that it wouldn't be a continuous thing. They would just do it at different times through the year. Like, hey, we need a quick cash grab. Drop some. Okay, now we got it. Okay, I'm going to go with our business. What's the photo pass thing again? I don't remember what it...
It was attraction...
Oh, the attraction ones. Everybody gets those now, right?
Will be given to
everybody. That's the way I read that, right? Like basically, even if I buy a day ticket and they take my picture on Space Mountain, it's mine.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's how I read that, because I remember thinking the way they use the wording, the attraction photos. I can't go in front of the Christmas tree and get my picture taken and get that for free.
No,
that's still a benefit of I want to sell you Genie Plus, or I want you to buy the photo pass package, which is still $20 a year. Or
but that's still just a digital photo, though, right? That's not like a physical photo you're buying.
No, they would still be digital photos. Actually, Gina, do they still have the printing photo booths? I'm not sure that they still have those.
No, from what I have seen, this is what you could do. You can now go on, when you get a photo, you can go on the app and you can click on it, and for extra money, you can purchase different types of photos and they will have them delivered to you, but you can't go and get them printed at the park, not to my knowledge. So unless I'm mistaken, I have not seen that anywhere, but you can opt to have them do things for you in app.
So the famous ones were the Splash Mountain one, which hasn't been there for a while. And then as recently as at least a few months ago, the Space Mountain one was still there. But I think the last couple of times I went, I don't think they did the photos anymore. I think it was just some random kind of merchandise. But I haven't been on Space Mountain in my last couple of trips.
Well, I didn't know that. So, that's good. That's then I guess definitely. It's just interesting that they'll be doing that. I wonder if that'll be a permanent thing. I mean, it seems like something weird for them to take it away, but then also they had taken it away from pass holders when they did it. So,
well, no one. I'd never really seen anybody go and actually buy the photo. Like, honestly,
I'm talking about the digital photos now. So,
oh yeah, well, who buys the actual printed one? I mean, I have a little collection from
people
when.
Did.
Well, I have a collection.
My mom has one of her and I on Splash Mountain.
But from how long ago?
Oh, like.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, I have them from years ago.
Yeah,
but I haven't had anything in recent memory ever since. I mean, Max Pass was a thing, and they gave it to us with Max Pass. I haven't had a printed photo, and I couldn't tell you how long. Yeah, I mean, they were nice. They definitely had their
Right.
time, but there isn't. I don't think there's the deal with Kodak anymore, and there isn't even the shop anymore.
Right.
The shop's not. That's not there. That's that Christmas shop now.
I guess I just hadn't paid attention. We can't see that. All we see is
I
Disney.
know. I was trying to fix it, but you can't. I don't want to take my screen off. It says, like, if you go into your app, you can edit the picture that they give you.
You can always have
save
done
the
that.
picture.
Yeah.
You could share the picture, or you could buy photo gifts. And it says if you, by selecting continue, you can be redirected to their a different person. It's called easyprints.com. And Easy Prints will then print you an ornament, a cup. It's like Shutterfly or Amazon Photo. And so it takes you to another website. Yeah. And so Easy Prints, you can do, they're like partners with Disney PhotoPass, and you can like have it printed through them. So so now you can get your picture of you guys on Splash Mountain, on a cup, on a mug, on a magnet, on a wood print, on a journal, on a whatever.
Well, that opens it up because Disney doesn't have to worry about it. They don't have to staff it, and I'm sure they're still getting a cut of that.
Right.
Absolutely.
They have the contract with Easy Print or whatever, so that makes sense. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. That's dead.
They just have to worry about maintaining the camera system. That's all.
I mean, I just got an email from Costco who said, we're out of the picture business, giving it to Shutterfly. Transfer your accounts to Shutterfly and you'll get a discount through Shutterfly. So like no one does. Target doesn't have them in store anymore. I think Walgreens has it. I think, yeah, Walgreens is maybe somewhere else. Walgreens has the 1 hour photo in store. So it's not dead, but it's a dying thing. And I can see why Disney would say, like, there's no point in staffing this. They probably don't sell enough to justify staffing it, honestly. Know what I mean? Because it's like,
right,
how much does a picture really? It doesn't cost anything for 40 freaking cents. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really cost anything. So it's just, that makes sense to me. And I'm not harmed by it. I think that's actually kind of cool that, like, might as well give them. It doesn't cost you anything to give it to somebody digital. But I could see how with the other ones, like where it's an actual photographer, like you go in front of the castle, you go in front of the tree, you're in Galaxy's Edge, how that's still like, well, no, because you're getting a full on, like, I've had full on photo shoots.
Oh yeah, you can get somebody if there's no line. Man, you've got your own little photo shoot going on in front of there. And some of the PhotoPass photographers, they genuinely enjoy their job. And I appreciate that because I have had some of the best pictures taken by a PhotoPass photographer. Then I've had some where I'm like, did you not catch that when you took the picture of me? Like, that's hideous. But more often than not, I'd say they're really good.
Yeah, no, I agree. And when you get a special one, they're good. And if you can catch them even kind of late at night when it's starting to get late and they're still taking photos, you can have a full-on photo shoot with them and they'll suggest all kinds of different stuff and just I think, I'm not sure if I think they might have to get a quota on the number of photos that they're supposed to take for the day. So
catch them later at night. They're like, oh man,
I've had literally dozens of photos taken by the same photographer at night before closing. I had one just kind of following us around Avengers Campus one time. I was like, come on, man, you want to take some photos? Yeah, okay, let's go. And then just take a bunch of photos.
If things haven't changed, I worked briefly, taking photos at Universal about 20 years ago ish. And you had to have a quota, and it was not fun. It was not fun at all. Because as an introvert, I didn't like talking to people, so it was really hard to get people to. It probably wasn't a great job for me. My favorite part was just biding my time until I could just start then following around characters, because following around Xena and Hercules and Beetlejuice and Dracula and having the interactions with guests was probably the best part of that job.
I think Universal finally started bringing that back. Taking photos with characters, because they didn't for a long time. They didn't most of 2022, but I'm pretty sure I saw it the other day with an actual photographer. They're doing that. They still have a couple of stands where you can get photos printed. They have one outside the Harry Potter ride, and then they have the actual store in Universal Plaza, which I didn't know what the name of that was. I was like, I don't know, whatever Main Street is in Universal, until like actually really recently. I was like, oh, it's called Universal Plaza. Oh, okay. Because it's not on a map. I mean, it's not on the map of what it's called. I heard somebody else refer to it as Universal Plaza. I'm like, okay, I guess it's Universal Plaza. That makes sense. So yeah, it's different there, but they still need to upgrade their stuff because they're still behind with the tech. The Simpsons were right. It's terrible.
The other thing that we should probably talk about
before we sign off,
I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts, and also if you guys have seen the thoughts of the internet, because they always have opinions. Tiana's Palace. Is French Market too much of a sacred cow to retheme? And is French Market the correct? We can't hear you, Gina.
You'd think I would learn after all that to not be on mute, but my dog walked past. Anyway, I personally, I like the idea of changing and retheming things to Tiana. It fits. It's not like they're doing it in a way that doesn't fit the space. I haven't eaten at the French Market in over a decade. The food was okay, but it wasn't amazing. I think as long as they keep beignets and mint juleps, people won't revolt.
That's not even the French Market.
That's not even at French Market. So.
Yeah. Oh, it's at the other place.
It's
attached to the French Market. It's at the julep bar.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to retheme that whole area and like revamp the mint julep and beignet area, but I didn't.
It might get structurally, not structurally, but like the design may get a redo, but I think you're foolish if you take away beignets and mint juleps.
No, and I don't think they will, because it fits. Like, again,
it fits.
It fits the whole theme, but I like Tiana. I mean, I really like that cartoon. I listen to some of the music. I love that style of music, and I like I don't know, I like it. I also am one that's not like, if they change this, my whole childhood is ruined. I like to see things change. I'm excited for a revamp of Toontown. I'm excited for a new Splash Mountain, which I know is not a popular opinion, but like I'm down with it. I thought the concept art looked really good too.
The problem I have is the disconnect when Splash Mountain reopens as the Tiana themed ride. The disconnect with Haunted Mansion right there smack in the middle between the two things.
The distance. I knew you were going to say that. It's the distance of where it's at from the off-road ride.
Well, there's no mountains in the bayou, so that's a little odd, but whatever.
There's that, because then there's, what do you do with Critter Country? Because then all that Critter Country becomes at that point is
Winnie the Pooh.
Pooh and Hungry Bear, and then the shop, and that's it. So do you keep the Critter Country name? Do you extend New Orleans Square all the way to include the former Splash Mountain? Would it have been a better idea to have somehow tried to retheme Hungry Bear as the Tiana? But then you don't have the facade of New Orleans there, so it makes sense to do French Market. But then once again, Haunted Mansion smack dab in the middle, and there's that disconnect. And
I think
real quick, it's the same disconnect that I don't know what they're going to do with the Hyperion if Hollywood Studios becomes Marvel Land Phase 2, and then you still have the Hyperion Theater right there smack dab in the middle.
I think you use the ride to make the switch. I think the ride is gonna make the switch. So when you exit, you're definitely in the bayou and the critter type stuff, because that's where the ride exits. Mm-hmm. So whatever's going to be New Orleans is at the beginning of the ride, and then it becomes, okay, now we're going down the bayou, and then come out, and that's kind of like the critter thing, because you got that. You've got that now with the showboat and all those critters. That's why it's Critter Country. So you just kind of start. So it's gonna walk that fine line, kind of like Matterhorn. What is Matterhorn? Is it Fantasyland, or is it what's the other? Yeah, it kind of rides both. I think that's what you're gonna do. I get like. So it's weird. You asked me what I thought about the French Market. You asked all of us. The French Market, as you know it and remember it, is dead. It's dead. The days of and I like the French Market. I still like the food there. The days of you going in line, grabbing that tray, and going down either side to get, let me get, the beef stroganoff today, or I want to get a salad. And those are done. It's done. That's not how it works. Like, it's never busy to get in there like that, where the line used to go out the door. Before, right. Remember, and partially mobile order, because I'm mobile order. Yeah. I'm mobile order, and I think that the chicken that they serve with the garlic mashed potatoes and like the broccoli and cauliflower, it's good, and it's a hefty sized meal for $17 or whatever it is. Like, it's gonna fill you up. And then a piece of cake on top of that, you're full. Like you're full. The food is still pretty good. It's not what it was because it's corn chowder on the menu, not clam chowder. But what I think about the French market and what I remember of the French market from grabbing my tray and walking in there, going down the two different sides, the split and that little like kind of cul-de-sac up until you get to the thing and then go outside. Those days are gone. It's not the same. That's some of the restaurants never recovered from COVID.
Right.
That being one of them because it switched to the mobile order, and Alien Pizza Planet is the other one. That is not like it still gets busy, but the vibe is not the same because it's just like you just walk in, you have either mobile ordered or you stand in the standby line, you go up and order your stuff, and then you go to a window to pick it up instead of I got my tray, the cafeteria stuff, that's done.
Yeah.
That's done. And that's what I remember the French market being. More of yes, it was counter service, but it felt more like an actual restaurant because of the food choices and the way that it was designed, and that's dead. So I'm not going to have a problem with them.
I agree with all of those things. I think that if anything, the change might bring a better menu.
The menu, again, the chicken is good.
That New Orleans flair.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff that you can't get outside of Blue Bayou.
You want the Monte Cristo, huh?
Oh, no, you can get the Monte Cristo at
Cafe Orleans.
Cafe Orleans. No, I can't stand the Monte Cristo actually, and I know that's probably blasphemy, but I can't stand it.
I've never had it, so
I don't like it.
I tried it once and I didn't like it. I'm like, what is this? This is weird. I'd rather have a beef Wellington.
It's
this
like a fried ham sandwich with sugar. It's just
I love ham sandwich, but no, I mean, I think that it could. Because I mean, to be honest, I never really ate at French Market. We always just like Diggs and his brother and I, we'd go over there for desserts and stuff. Like they would have those coffin during Halloween. They'd always have those Halloween themed cakes and stuff that would look like coffins and stuff, or like things like that. That's what we would go over there for.
For us, it was a staple. It was a staple for us. It was a staple to go get a bowl of clam chowder and a side salad and a mint julep, and that was dinner, because I got like soup and a salad, right? Mm-hmm. Dessert optional, depending how we were feeling, or if we were going to get something somewhere else. But that was a staple because everybody liked clam chowder, and if it was like, well, because sometimes it was the summertime, I don't want a bowl of clam chowder, but a salad sounds good. It's like a little different, or the beef stroganoff or whatever. There was something else on the menu. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but it was like it had a little bit of something for everybody. Being adults. It wasn't chicken tenders, it was a little bit of a step up from doing the chicken tender thing. But
yeah, I'm looking forward to if the menu, if more than anything, I want some like fast food flair jambalaya, some fat, some that kind of cafe, whatever. I don't know what kind of food there are. They get a stick. Do you think they're gonna stick to mobile ordering, or are they gonna go back to having people try to get people running through there? Because
I think they're going to do a little bit of both. I think, because like someplace like Flo's, you can still go into Flo's and wait in line and get your food. And Flo's got the theming. The theming of Flo's is fantastic. And the food's good. That's actually been our go-to a lot recently. So if they can pull off something like Flo's, where it's like, okay, we get enough people that flow in here and our menu's good and you can choose to eat here, or I can mobile order at Flo's too, then I think you're onto something. Because the fried chicken at Flo's is good. The sandwich is really good. I really like that sandwich, man. The low and slow sandwich, or whatever it's called. That's a good.
Oh yeah,
a turkey sandwich.
Because if they bring in Tiana's Palace and they don't bring in a menu that a New Orleans menu that goes along with it, and they just stick to the same old stuff that they've always had, all the places. Like they like to do, then I'm not. It's not going to be successful to me. They need to bring in, and they need, like I said, they need to have some sort of fast, food jambalaya, some etouffee.
I think they might, because still, even the menu now, even though you're talking about that, I mean that chicken that we're talking about, that's a half-breasted chicken. It's not tenders. It's a full-on like half-breasted chicken, and it's very filling. I can't think of anything else. Like I actually talked to a friend of mine who went this last week, and they just went for the day. And I was like, where should I eat? What kind of food do you want? It's like, pasta or maybe chicken. I'm like, dude, if you want chicken, like, go get this piece of chicken. Because, like, seriously, for $17, between that and the mashed potatoes and the little veggies that come on the side, you'll be full. Other than that, I mean, yeah, Plaza Inn, but that's fried chicken. It's not the same. This is a rotisserie chicken.
The problem is then how do they separate themselves from Blue Bayou? What makes you what's going to make you
can get in?
Yeah, what's going to make you what's going to separate Tiana's from Blue Bayou when all of the stuff that should be sold at Tiana's is already kind of the stuff that's at Blue Bayou, but you can't have the same stuff because otherwise then it takes away from what Blue Bayou is supposed to be. You could probably just walk into Blue Bayou.
And probably one of the things about Blue Bayou and one of the things about the French Market is the kids menu is still kids menus lack all over the place, and that's one of the places that it does. So the fact that French Market doesn't sell chicken tenders means that when we want to eat at the French Market, I got to go get some chicken tenders from somewhere else and bring them to the French Market. Like I got to go to, and the nearest place is going to be the Stage Door Cafe. So I've done it a lot where depending on how many, the number of kids I got with me, okay, I want this, so I'm going to eat this, but then still got to go pick up some chicken tenders over here. So if you can fill that void, and you think you would kind of want to, named after Tiana, named after a princess, you think there's some of the menus going to be simplified a little bit, but still have a little bit of flair for the adults. Because I don't disagree with you. Like it should have like the jambalaya. There still needs to be something in a bowl that's very, New Orleans and the sourdough bread,
gumbo and
type stuff. Yeah.
I just Googled because that's what I do, and they actually have a Tiana's place on the Disney Cruise Line, and so I just pulled up a menu that they have there, and they have the appetizers. They have boudin sausage fritters. They have a charcuterie board. That's a Cajun charcuterie board. They have a sautéed Gulf shrimp and grits. They have a ahi tuna tartare. They have some soup. They have some salad. One of their salads is a pickled Gulf shrimp and satsuma orange salad. They have some vegetarian stuff. They have pasta. They have sea bass. They have Creole chicken. They have a roasted pork tenderloin, a prime rib and beef. They have a bread
service. Is it the Chilean sea bass?
It is the Cajun spiced one. And then they have some lighter stuff like a warm water lobster salad. They have steak. They have salmon. They have a whole bunch of different coffees and desserts. I don't see any kids menu, but it's a cruise ship, so I don't know.
It's not gonna. That's far too extensive a menu for
a quick service. But that's if we're looking at Disney, and what Disney tends to do is they tend to repackage shit they already do. So if they look at the flavor profiles of the cruise ship and they make it a quick service.
Plus that tracks for what they've been doing lately. I mean, look at Docking Bay 7 is quick service, but yet they made it
good.
They made that stuff good and pretty.
Yeah, Docking Bay is actually really good. That's a hidden gem.
Docking Bay 7 is really good food, and it's funny because like I see the pictures from Docking Bay 7, or I've eaten at Docking Bay 7, and the food is just really good. It looks pretty. And then I see some of the stuff that there's the slop that they're serving at like Alien Pizza Planet. And I'm like, what is
hold on. Let's talk about that really freaking quickly.
That's disgusting.
Okay. So I forgot to tell you, was it you that sent me that?
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about that for a second. So I was talking to one of my tutors this week. She was talking to me, and I think she went to Disney with just for the day on Monday. I don't know if it was just with her boyfriend or with her family, but she went and she told me, "Oh, I ate it Alien Pizza Planet." I'm like, okay, yeah, the pizza's okay. It's pizza.
It's for kids. Special. I mean, it's like
I like it. I like it, but it's just like it's a quick snack.
Which is weird because it used to be really good there when it was just Pizza Port. Because I used to get the most amazing chicken pesto Alfredo there. In the past they've had that pastrami mustard pizza that they had that one time for a special occasion. That
I had a buffalo chicken one there for a.
So it's weird to hear that them you refer to them as kid food, and
I wouldn't call it kid food. It's good, but it is definitely quick service. It's here's pizza by the slice kind of thing. So even the pasta, like one of my daughters really likes the pasta from there. Actually, they both do. And it's not bad. It's fine for what it is. You're not getting anything fancy. But the newest one they have is enchilada. Is that what it was? An enchilada pasta or something like that? Okay.
It's an enchilada pasta.
Okay, so Gina sent me a video of a guy who ate it. He was like, I don't know what they were thinking of this one. The funny thing about this is when she mentioned she ate there, she's like, we had that and I had the enchilada pasta. And I said, excuse me, what?
Please tell me she thought it was better. Maybe they
improved it. No, she liked it. She's like, I thought it was really good. She's like, I actually liked it. And I'm like, okay. So I sent her the video and she's like, no, that's not what I got out of it at all. She's like, I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Now, you can take this for kind of what it's worth, but she does eat the kid puts mustard on tamales, which at first to me seems like, wait, what? And then you start thinking,
blasphemy.
Okay, actually, maybe. You can just see how that like just if it was ketchup, I would disown her. If it was ketchup, I would disown her. But the mustard thing, I'm like, okay, I could see how maybe that would complement the flavor, depending on the type of tamale. Tamal, it's just one. Okay. It's tamales is plural. Tamal is just one. Okay. But anyway, I could see that. But other than that, she's a picky eater. Like she's actually a super picky eater. And I know this because we've gone to dinner and then we order in, food for us sometimes. She's a picky eater. So for her to say, no, I actually liked it means, okay, I'm willing to give, I don't know if I'm going to eat it because I don't eat a lot of pasta at the park, but somebody will get it and I will listen to their fair review too. Instead of just saying, outright no.
Well,
it actually was pretty good.
I don't eat pasta anymore because it just doesn't do it for me anymore. But I really want to know if it's that bad because I also watched that guy's review. Like I watched his YouTube video and he went more in depth on it. And he was like, the pasta was not cooked correctly. It was hard as a rock. It was like it was probably, and he even said, he's like, maybe it was just a bad day, which, it happens. Not everything's perfect and you're getting pasta at a theme park, but I am curious to know if it was a one-off or is it really that bad? Because it looked like vomit. It looked
so weird because I have eaten pasta many times at the parks between Pizza Port and the pasta place in DCA over in the Gardens.
Yeah, and that's good.
And I've had the pasta from there, and I mostly get almost the same. It's always now for some reason the one in the Gardens. What's that one called? I always forget the name of it.
It's not Paradise Garden Grill. It's next Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta.
Boardwalk Pizza. There it is. I have the chicken Alfredo, pesto Alfredo is always better there than it was used to be at Pizza Port, but the food that they serve at both places is almost identical. And I've never had any problem with any of the pastas there. And I've never had any occasion of the pasta being undercooked.
No. So it must have just been kind of an off day.
Although somebody is just looking for clicks or...
I'll be honest with you. I've met him in person. He and his wife, they are genuinely nice people. He's a very low, he's just getting started. But they're usually really... honest. Like if he likes something, he's like, this is delicious. And if he doesn't, he's like, I don't really care for this. He's not like those couples that are like, oh my God, everything's delicious and amazing. Or the ones who are like, no, I hate everything. I would say that I trust his judgment on that one. And he was pretty fair. I mean, I think he's often said like, hey, maybe it was just a bad day, but he said he wouldn't get that one again. They liked almost all the other food they tried. So, most of the food was good, but that one, and even it doesn't even look good. It was like beige on beige on beige. It was so bad. It just looked ugly.
And it's been really rainy too. So, I mean, literally the lighting in there is not the best. You never know. Yeah. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt because it just came out and then we'll see what's happening.
Getting back to our original point, I think it would take once again, it would probably take a whole complete retheming or a new restaurant for them to get some different food in there. But I think the trend towards them wanting to have more of the designer type foods and things that have better taste, hopefully is going to continue from, like I said, like Docking Bay 7 Even Pim's Test Kitchen is really good.
They're
and some really,
I like the panini. The panini's good. The pimini. That's
the pimini. I had the pimini, and it was really good.
That pretzel's pretty fire too. The big giant pretzel.
It's just freaking huge.
Yeah,
bring a freaking Ziploc bag because you ain't finishing that.
No, it's really quite delicious, and their drinks are really good there. Here's the thing: if I'm spending $15 average on some food at a theme park, I would really appreciate it to be delicious because it isn't cheap. Even quick service, I think you can make a hot dog that tastes good. It doesn't have to taste disgusting. So I like seeing a shift. And yes, you do need those staple foods. You need chicken tenders
and you
to always taste the same because a kid needs that. And even some adults, there are people who are not adventurous eaters and they need a place to go. And so please don't ever do away with the chicken fingers. They should be the same at every restaurant. But, definitely bring in new.
I just wish they would bring back good burgers there at Disneyland. 20 some odd years ago.
Here we go. 2023, and I'm still hearing this shit from 2017.
The burgers used to be good at Disneyland, and then
I'm just gonna let you have this one, Anthony. I've heard the argument for 5.
That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to subject Dan fans about. He's heard it from two different ends about how the burgers have gone downhill in the last 5 years.
It's right about the time where it's been 6 years since I met you. It's been right about that time because I met Diggs first. I met Diggs and his brother first. At I think the first day our passes were opening again after a blackout in 2017. So I've been associated with certain crews since 2017, and I've heard this argument I don't know how many times. And I'm not even going to argue. I'm just going to let you have it because I've heard it so freaking much in the last 6 years. But it's all good. It's all good. Well, there's just things that we like and that we don't. Like I can do the same at Universal. Be like, some of this food is just I don't know what you're thinking with this.
Yeah. But coming back to it, like I said, I hope that with Document 7, Pim's Test Kitchen is more of a trend towards what Disneyland wants to go for with their newer restaurants than just outliers. So I have optimism that Tiana's Palace will have some elevated, but also it could be fast, but it also could be elevated and look pretty. And I'm hoping that for more of that from Tiana's, more along that vein than some alien pizza planet shit. So.
All right, I think it's about time. We're getting to that time. It's been long enough. I got some breaking news and the fact that my jacket shipped. So I should have that by the end of the week. That's a real interesting tale because actually I saw somebody post it last night in a group and I was like, well, let me look at it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is kind of what I was looking at, but it was sold out. And I just saw the button that said notify me when they're back in stock. I woke up to a message that said that was 10 minutes old at the time I got it and said, it's back in stock. Had my size. Said, what the hell?
Right on.
So I should have that.
Real quick before we go, just La Brea Bakery. Bye after 20 some years.
A staple of freaking.
It was their opening day of DCA.
I never ate there, but it was always there.
I was out there many a night hosing adjacent to La Brea Bakery. So I guess they've decided they don't want to deal with retail anymore, and I can't blame them. So go find their bread in your local grocery store, I guess.
What's funny is I think the sandwiches they make at my local Stater Brothers market are actually made with La Brea Bakery bread.
I guess the only two La Brea bakeries that retails that are going to keep is at airports. Two airports, I guess. One at LaGuardia or something, and then one at some other airport. I just saw there was two airports that were still going to have La Brea bakeries inside, but other than that, every single one is closing.
And as usual, the leech known as Earl of Sandwich is going to take over for
briefly for a pop-up. They'll be back because they're worth it. Earl of Sandwich is like one of ever to grace the halls of downtown Disney.
I've eaten there.
Their holiday sandwich and their delicious Earl Grey.
I knew I was going to talk about the holiday sandwich. Everybody does. But what I was going to say is their
Earl Grey lemonade.
Downtown Disney's favorite, although they couldn't reach an agreement on what to do with the freaking building, because it was supposed to be for the hotel.
Yeah,
that's actually where I was going. Yeah,
be comfortable, Earl, because they're demolishing that entire building to make it a Portos, because they want to walk all the way through downtown Disney to get to Portos. So Earl of Sandwich will be there for.
Yeah, but wait, who's going to be the ones walking all the way through downtown Disney and get to Portos? They're actually going to be not, because it's going to be right there, because most people start at the other end. Well, because they park at Mickey and Friends and Pixar.
Right, but if you walk through, if you want to go just to Portos and you park at Simba, you have to walk all the way through downtown Disney to get to
because that's what they want.
And that's what they're doing. So they're going to have La Brea Bakery, which I don't know what they were going to do at La Brea Bakery anyway then, if they didn't close, because that was where they want to put the Portos.
Portos is probably just waiting for something big to close so they could be like, okay, it's our time. Or Disney was waiting for that to happen.
They had announced it. They announced Portos was coming, but we never got a location. We all assumed it'd be on the ESPN side of stuff.
Right.
They also announced that we were getting the Dim Die Whatever restaurant that nobody knows where it's going. And then they talked about having the Tortilla Joe's place close. And that is going to happen. Menu. Yeah, they're revamping the menu at the Jazz Kitchen.
They might have been waiting for Tortilla Joe's. That may have been where Portos was originally going to go.
Maybe. I don't really think Tortilla Joe's. They got rid of their guacamole table side after the shutdown, and like the food's all right, like, but it can go. And then Uva Bar and Catal are supposed to get revamped to be Mexican food. And then they redid the Jazz Kitchen, and I've never eaten at the Jazz Kitchen. I don't really care for that food anyway, but everybody's like, it's so ugly. No, it looks great. It's so boring. Nope, still looks great.
Oh, they redid the generic outside?
Yeah, it's all repainted. They're making it more contemporary. It's less dated. And then they're revamping the menu, and they're going to change up the menu, and like, seriously, people have lost their mind over it, but...
Well, they should lose their minds, because Jazz Kitchen was amazing. It was the only place where you can get an actual, because the ones inside Disneyland are not beignets.
6 years.
Dan hasn't heard.
Never heard that one before.
Yeah, they're keeping the beignets.
It's the greatest hits show.
Yeah, they're definitely keeping the beignets.
Although the maple donuts inside Disneyland were really good.
They're like a beignet. Yeah. Just two more real quick things. Universal wants to open a park in Texas, and Universal's going to open a permanent Halloween Horror Nights attraction. Permanent Halloween Horror Nights attraction in Vegas.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. Neither of which I'll probably ever go to. But yeah, they did announce that.
The park that they want to open in Texas is going to be geared as a family park. So it is going to be more geared towards families, and
which is weird, because if there was going to be a Fast and the Furious park, that's the place to put it, Texas.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. That would. I do think that opening theme parks in Texas is probably a good call. I mean, Texas is so big; it takes 2 days to drive through it, no matter what you do. So a lot of planes come and go through there as connections. So. I mean, it's
literally the place where Six Flags was born.
Yeah. And to make it more of a family park there, I think that's probably smart, because they already have thrill parks in Texas, like Six Flags and stuff. So, I mean, it's smart of them.
Don't they have a SeaWorld in Texas somewhere?
I believe they do. I'm not really like... I don't really follow SeaWorld.
It says a lot when Disney hasn't, after 100 years in operation, Disneyland hasn't opened a park in Texas. Tells you everything you need to know about Texas. Disneyland, first, the fact that Disneyland has a park in Florida. Florida wasn't Florida when Disney moved there, so.
No, Florida has definitely changed. But Orlando is definitely an exception to broader places in Florida. Florida's like California, though. You go in the middle of California, it's vastly different in Sacramento than it is in San Francisco.
It's true.
Oh,
there's California East and there's California West.
All right. So next time we meet, we got to talk Bad Batch because I've only been able to watch the first episode. So we'll talk Bad Batch.
Yeah, real quick too, if you want to talk about it, I have been watching National Treasure series. Actually, not bad.
Okay, that's the other one that I gotta watch. I haven't seen all the movies.
That. I haven't had a chance.
Yeah, got that. As we speak, in a little while, tonight's last game, wildcard game, heading into the NFL playoffs, they're going to show a trailer for The Mandalorian, for the next season of The Mandalorian. So I'm sure we're going to see that on YouTube in a little while. I have no desire to watch.
I already started watching third season of Mandalorian. It was last night with The Last of Us.
Did it show then or what?
No, I was just making a joke because
I was going to say
because The Last of Us is, him paired with another young child.
Didn't catch that.
Because apparently that's his trope is to be paired with young children and protect them. So
okay, that's fine. That's what some of us are meant to do.
No, I never played that video game, so I just thought it'd be interesting to check out the show.
Okay, that's cool.
Another take on zombies.
Anyway, so we'll do all that.
Yep.
This will drop. Catch us online on all kinds of different social medias. Anthony likes to stay quiet about stuff. He just likes to come here to rant. But you can catch Gina and I all over the place. We've got a Disney Culture YouTube, probably the most active on there with all our dumb, useless crap. Yeah, just us having a good time. You can catch me on TikTok, Danzig77, DANSCIG77. Instagram, Dan's Disney Adventures, where I post a photo every now and then. But really, it's the TikTok and YouTube where we are definitely the most active. We have a Facebook page too, which I got to be more active in actually using.
You know what? I find it that I see it and I'm like, I need to get on there.
It's just going to be reposts.
I need to find an editor. That's my issue. I have no problem shooting video, but I have issues editing my videos. So maybe my husband will step up and take over my I Teach Children of the Corn TikTok videos.
Time to learn how to use apps. Well, definitely you can use iMovie, but if you want an easier editing tool, InShot as an app that's free. It's kind of what I use when I put together something a little bit longer, or I have to like play with the canvas, like the directional stuff. It's InShot that I use. I don't use iMovie is strictly going to be landscape. It doesn't do anything else. So it doesn't quite work. So there's some other third-party apps that you can use. We can talk about that later. But that's where you can find us. And the next time we speak, Anthony and I will have some Super Mario World updates. Probably, hopefully, tried some food. Probably bought some crap we don't need. But that's I've
already bought Super Mario crap I don't need.
Okay, so that's one of the stores that I went into in Universal Plaza, and they had a lot of crap, dude. Okay, I want that popcorn bucket.
The Star.
The Star.
I want the sipper, the 1-Up or the big. I want those. Yeah. I love those.
They had all kinds of plushies. Like all of it right now though is no discount. So just keep that in mind. Discount.
Yeah, the 1-Ups. I'm so glad that they have those in all the stores now, because when her and I first went, they only had them in the one store on the lower lot. They're in front of the other other store, and that was the only place you can get them. But I just don't know if I could spend $40 on a popcorn bucket.
I'm gonna end up doing it because it's freaking cool.
It is cool. I just haven't decided.
The only thing that actually kept me from doing it the other day was the fact that you get free refills the day that you buy it. And it was like 9:00 at night. I was like, no, I'll get this when I'm actually going to, because it didn't appear that anything was in short supply at all. No. So there was a 9:30 at night when I was in the store, a wall full of them. So I was like, okay.
It's not like Disneyland, which would sell them right now during the soft openings, and then by the major opening, they're completely out of them.
Yeah. So I probably will buy one when we go for the preview, knowing I'll be there longer and I'll get like at least 3 or 4 things filled with popcorn. So if you want to look at this, I spent $10 on a thing of popcorn. Right. That's about right.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, I'll get it filled up. I'll take some freaking Ziploc bags and fill them to take some popcorn. Like, I'm gonna get $40 worth of popcorn out of this bad boy.
Dan's there with
Right,
the reusable gallons.
Wow.
Well, if you watch some freaking, some of those vloggers and YouTubers, they'll tell you one of the things to pack is some Ziploc bags.
Yeah.
Take care of some of that stuff. My brother does.
I mean,
that's packs Ziploc bags in his backpack.
That's no joke because last time when we went with my mom, she was prepared just in case we were going to get the feast at Three Broomsticks, and she had brought some Ziploc bags.
Right in there, bro.
Yeah, if you ever go to get the feast at Three Broomsticks, you need some.
I've seen it. Yeah, my brother's had it.
You need some bags or some containers because there's plenty of food for everybody.
Take a little freaking your little lunch bag with a ice pack and right in there, baby. Let's go. I think they used to do that at the at Big Thunder Ranch too.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of where it started.
Yeah, that also, there was always plenty of food for everybody there too. I hated the last day that we went for Big Thunder Barbecue, the day before it closed, and the beans that we left behind because there was no way to take them with us. I was like, no, those beans are so good, and then we'll never see them again. That just came up in my memories a few weeks ago. It's been 7 years since Big Thunder Ranch closed.
So that's what we got. We'll be at Universal there. Hopefully Gina will join us sometime soon. I think it's worth it. Like her husband had asked, is it worth it to get it? Yeah, it kind of is for the price.
He's leaning towards it, honestly. Yeah. Me and him are both leaning towards it. So I think we'll probably end up with passes sooner rather than later.
We got some stuff coming up. I'll be at Disney this weekend, the 21st, I think. I think we'll be in the evening. I'll be there. I haven't been there in a couple of weeks. Just the rain, mostly. Reservations have been readily available. It's just been the rain. I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. When I know going in, I'm going to get into it. I don't have a problem. But I'm like, I just don't want to deal with it. And okay, so this is weird. It rained so hard yesterday. When I went out today to go get something to eat for lunch, I opened the door to my truck and water fell out. It rained so much it got stuck in where the door seals against the frame. Yeah. Right up above the runner, because I have a truck that has a runner that you have to step on it to get in. All of a sudden I saw water fall out. I'm like, what the heck? And it wasn't a big amount, but that means it got stuck in there because it rained that much. So I was like, I wonder if it's gonna do that for the back door too. So open the back door and same thing. Water fell out from the runner. The truck's dry. It just happened to that's where it seeped in. It means it got so much water right there, it forced its way up in there. It's like, geez, that's a lot. I've never seen that happen before at all.
Yeah, were we supposed to have a La Nina year? Where this wet stuff? No, thank you. I'm going to Disney on the 28th. I booked Disney reservations because my hope is that maybe I can get lucky with a Mickey's Runaway Railway.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah.
So I have plans to go there on the 28th. I did not book the 27th because I don't want to elbow vloggers for an opportunity to ride a ride. So I'm hoping.
Wait, that opens this month?
Yeah, it opens earlier than
no fanfare.
Well, it's on the app, but yeah, no, not much. It's opening.
Yeah, I haven't seen a commercial for it.
No,
you don't see that mentioned in all these 100th commercials.
It's probably only happening because it is the 100th. Because Toontown still isn't scheduled to open for another couple of months. So it literally is just it's gonna be walled all the way to the entrance of that ride.
Right.
That's what it's gonna be. So that's opening. That's the 28th. She booked that. I booked the next weekend after that, the 5th. That's my day. I'm going to go early and eat all the Lunar New Year food because that's so much better than the Festival of Fatness.
Oh my God. Lunar New Year food is so good. I was just saying, I'm like, we have to make plans to go there because
the 5th, I'm going to go early during the day. I'm going to go look at what I want. I'm going to order all at one booth and I'm going to spend my day picking it up. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get there in the morning, probably be gone by about 2:00.
I'm thinking of doing that maybe the 11th or the 12th of February, but I am looking at a day to go myself. I think the Lunar New Year food is the best.
It is.
Festival food that Disney does, hands down.
Food and wine is good, but I think Lunar's better. The stuff is already up for that, by the way.
Yeah,
that stuff's already
know what Universal's going to do since they already have Hollywood and Dine basically now a permanent Chinese food place, so I don't know what they're going to do with.
We're going way over my scheduled time, but have you seen the merchandise?
No.
There's a Minion shirt. It's red, but it's a red Minion shirt that has all the characters as Lunar New Year characters.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's going to sell. Yeah, it looked cute. It's red though, so I'm never gonna wear it. I would never wear it. I'm not a Minion fan, but I'm not a huge. You know, Universal owns.
It's a good year for Lunar New Year because everybody likes rabbits.
Yeah. So Universal owns Minions, right? That's the property that they actually own.
Yes.
And everything else is kind of an IP that they have the rights to.
They own a lot of things themselves. They own Woody Woodpecker.
No one knows Woody Woodpecker.
They're even closing
who's that?
in Florida. They even closed that area in Florida.
That's sad.
And in Vietnam, it is the year of the cat. So Disney is actually celebrating both, I want to say.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think that is cool to branch out and look at multiple cultures that celebrate Lunar New Year.
Oh, I know.
Give Gideon some love. Give Gideon some love. He gets no love. For those of you wondering who Gideon is, he's Honest John's partner.
Oh, yes, he is. That's right. Yeah, no, I mean, they always had the little plaques and stuff over in the Lunar New Year section at Disneyland or at DCA, where they would talk about the different Lunar New Years in Vietnam, and then China and whatever in the other areas. So at least they were always pretty good about recognizing that Lunar New Year wasn't just Chinese New Year.
Yes.
Right. No, and that's why it's specifically lunar, because it is going over that. So
just to hear about Chinese New Year.
Yeah, and the entertainment is from different countries too. So
right.
The entertainment is worth watching.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, just everything about it. And we were talking about how representation matters, and so I really like seeing Disney doing more at DCA to make it more Epcot-like, and to have it more of a. It's not just it's Disney California Adventure. It's like there's so many things that they're celebrating over there that I really like. I enjoy that.
And that it definitely has been a trend between Coco a few years ago and then now Encanto and then the Lunar New Year stuff. Yeah, it definitely goes a long way of
more with Tiana and getting
Viva Navidad.
Yes. So I would love to see Disney, just keep doing that. Like, let's just infuse a bunch more. And you know what? Bring all the food, because
yes, please.
Nothing makes me happier than delicious
food.
Disney. I love cold. I think that a lot of problems would end if we could all just have potlucks. Just everybody bring a dish from your family and let's enjoy.
Right.
We ain't got no problems then.
Everybody likes rice.
We were gonna sorry.
Everybody likes rice.
Right, rice is there is a rice dish in almost every culture.
And
in Italy, we have something it's pasta, but it's riced pasta. It's like a pashtine, and so it's even in Italy, not like the actual rice, but like a rice type noodle.
Yeah, between Mexican food, like Japanese food, Chinese food, Indian food, they all are really good at rice, and they're all like the best food in the whole entire world.
That wasn't a joke.
No offense to other countries, but literally those areas of influence to me are like the best food in the whole entire world. To me, that's just an opinion.
I don't know.
End it there. I think we're good.
Sounds good.
Find a way to splice that Lunar New Year talk back into the other thing.
That's where it is. You heard all the socials. If you're still listening at this point, you heard them already.
That's fine.
We'll go through, give it a listen, share it, and
stream of consciousness.
Go eat at Hollywood and Dine when you go to Universal.
There you go.
Disney Culture is a part of the Extraordinary Culture podcast universe. Follow my Disney stuff on IG and YouTube at Dan's Disney Adventures. Follow my Disney stuff on TikTok at Danzig77. It's DANSZIG77. Thanks for listening. See you real soon.